Hey everyone, welcome to K Talk, where we talk about all the hottest ongoing K dramas. I'm your host, Mel.
And I'm Uma. Welcome back, you guys. This week we are wrapping up Tastefully Yours. This rom-com, 10 episodes, streaming on
Yes.
Netflix. We only did a first look, so we have lots to discuss today.
We do.
How did you find the second half?
Honestly, I don't know if you keep it real. Like going back to having to watch the last 8 episodes, I wasn't excited because I kind of felt like it was going to be a drag, but it surprised me actually.
Yeah?
I mean, even though there were still parts that were very slow, it kind of picked up towards the end for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the first 4 episodes were amazing. It still kept up the fun vibe that it had going on. So now we see our male lead and our female lead. They're in this restaurant together. He's kind of warming up to everybody. You could see, I feel like episode 3 and 4, you could already tell that he was starting to really get along well with them, and he kind of forgot what his purpose was there to begin with.
He did.
Right? So he's really just involved now. He wants to make this restaurant amazing.
Yeah.
They end up getting into this food truck
Contest.
and then we see his previous chef, Young Hae.
I just call it Chef Jang.
Chef Jang.
Yeah. Young Hae.
Chef Jang now kind of sees that he might be into this new chef. She feels a little threatened, I think.
Yeah.
They find out that he's trying to put them on the map. So Hang Seng Group comes in and joins this food truck contest because they don't want Jung Jae, the restaurant, to get any kind of recognition whatsoever.
Yes.
But they start doing a little bit better. Day 1, they're doing a little bit better than Jung Jae.
Yeah.
But day 2, Jung Jae really goes very simple, and I think they start doing kimbap or something.
Yeah.
But people like it.
They do.
It wasn't too much. It wasn't too fancy.
Yeah.
They're enjoying it. But they end up losing that competition. No big deal. But the group has fun.
They do.
Can
I just say how much I love just Chun Sung just being brought in? And especially the way he did. How they brought him in.
Yes.
Because apparently someone lit a fire in Jung Jae.
Yes, and they think it's Chun Sung.
Yes, but he said, I was in the area. Yes, I was drunk. I broke the window. I came in.
But I don't think I would actually set a fire.
Yeah. So in return, they basically said you have to
help renovate the kitchen that you tried to burn down. Because right now he keeps saying I didn't burn it down. He's like, but if I did in my drunken state, then I'm sorry, I'll help you. And then you find out this guy is completely whatless.
Yeah.
He has no idea
but
what he's doing.
So cute and entertaining. I didn't think I was going to
is.
enjoy his character as much as I did.
Honestly, the little duo, my favorite part of this is the duo of him and Myung-suk.
Yeah.
Him and Myung-suk fight like an old married couple. They're constantly bickering and getting at one another. And I feel like that's one of the cutest things to come out of this show for me, because let's be honest, I was super excited in the beginning, but it wasn't rom-comming enough.
It wasn't. But like you said, I really enjoyed just how their relationships grew.
Yes, more than anything.
I remember Chu Sung and Myung-suk, they have history. They were working with each other for 15 years at his restaurant.
And they kind of had a falling out, but he was like, come back.
Yeah.
We talked about this in the first look episode where she was like, you guys are not treating me with the respect that I deserve. He left. He's mad. This is how he gets to know the group, which is fun. He also kind of makes this little drink on the side that his dad doesn't let him sell in their store. His dad thinks he's a fuck up.
He didn't even even try it, because I don't think he trusts anything
that comes out of
and that was one of the scenes that made me laugh so hard when he, for the first time, when he lets them taste his maju.
Yes.
And Yoon-jun was like, I thought you were a bum.
this is delicious.
Yeah.
But and then this is something that you could do. Nobody wants to take it seriously.
And it was so funny because then Byung-woo was like, me too. I thought you were a bum too. What the hell's going on here?
Right?
Yeah.
So while they're renovating this kitchen, they find out he's useless, but his heart's in it.
Yeah.
So they all just become closer. That's how he ends up doing the food truck contest with them, and he's giving out his drinks for free, and it's just kind of drawing a crowd. They're having the time of their lives.
You know what's so funny? Ever since he did not look back at his restaurant once.
I kept
I'm like, he has his own restaurant, but for some reason
you kind of forget.
Yeah.
And you're like, did his dad fire him?
I don't think the dad really cares.
He just jumped ship. He's like, I'm part of this crew now.
Yeah.
So that was really cute. That takes us up until episode 4. Episode 3 and 4 are like that. 5, this is where my problem comes in with this show, okay? Out of nowhere, Yoon Jung's ex-boyfriend shows up.
Yes.
Yoo Yeon-suk makes a cameo.
Yes.
And we're like, why?
Yeah, why are you here?
First of all, why?
Yeah.
Like a tiny little role like this. They end up leaving. He comes to get her back. And
Yes.
she says, I don't want anything to do with you. Whatever happened between us is in the past. We find out that they used to work in the same restaurant in Japan. It was up for the 3-star diamond rating thing that they're doing. He messes up the day that they're being judged.
Yes.
She takes the blame for him, gets fired. She comes back to Korea.
Even with that, I didn't understand that.
Why she took
would
the
you,
blame?
Why would you take the blame? You're literally living your dream. You, from her background and where she came from, like, this literally was her dream, and then you're just gonna give it up
And she
for
worked
him,
just as hard
like,
as he did.
exactly.
I feel like she lost herself in that relationship. And later on, she actually does say, like, I gave so much. He was the kindest person to me.
And also him,
That
I'm
was her
like,
first
you're
love.
such a coward. The fact you even let
Let
her
her.
do that was so disgusting to me.
And that's what bothered me about that little, those 3 episodes that they go back to Japan. So Yoonju leaves because she finds out her ex-boss has, like, dementia and he's just not in a good place.
Yeah.
And he was like, he might not have a lot of time. Like, the way he made it look like he was at death's door.
He kind of emotionally manipulated the hell out of her.
He really did.
Yeah.
Because she was like, goodbye. I don't want to revisit the past. Like,
Yeah.
you know, don't ever come back to my restaurant ever again. But anyways, he manipulates her. He makes it look like her ex-boss, like her mentor,
Yeah.
is almost dying, is almost dead. He's not going to be here for much longer. She goes, and yeah, he has dementia. He goes in and out of, like, I guess, you know, consciousness, but he's not eating.
Yeah.
So she makes him this meal that he's always loved,
Yes.
that she used to make for him. Outside of that, those 3 episodes have to deal with her ex and him examining his life and him having a redemption arc and
Yeah.
showing his growth. So even the story, we go to Japan, for her past, it doesn't deal with her past. It's mainly about her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. And then Byung-woo goes there after her, and then they're doing this whole thing. It really dragged, and it was very unnecessary. And I also, what pissed me off about that whole mentor thing is the fact that the mentor was so forgiving
Right
of the
away.
ex. I'm like, you know, he was withholding your medication, so there was
Literally
so
trying
there
to
was
sell
no-
off your business.
Yeah, so there was nothing like honorable about what he was doing. Like,
None
you know
whatsoever.
what I mean?
And he just forgave him so quickly. So that was a little too convenient
It
for my
was.
liking. The other part was, it didn't need to be 3 episodes. Like, they could have wrapped that up in 2.
Yes.
We find out her ex is just rightfully a shitty person. For me, those 3 episodes were kind of bearable because it provided, like, scenes for us to kind of see, like, Bumwoo being jealous.
Yeah.
Bumwoo going there so that his girl doesn't get taken away, right?
Yeah.
That little dinner date that they had, and
Or
the
even-
snowy,
yeah.
like the winter wonderland of it all. You know, that kiss when she runs back and she gives him a kiss
Yeah.
to kind of reassure him, like, I don't want my ex, I'm
I-
about us.
Yeah.
Those parts.
And also before he even went, how Chung Sung helped him, and he was like,
Yes.
he stole from his dad, and then his dad, he runs down, and dad's like, "You're so embarrassing," and it's like, "I'm doing it for love," and I'm like, "That's so cute."
They're besties now.
They are.
I loved it, but the middle part, I agree with you. I don't think it was needed.
It was not needed
It
at all.
took away time for us to see them putting this restaurant together, paying back her debts, making it a success.
Yes.
Right? We could have had more story with Chef Jang.
Yes.
Chef Jang being jealous. She switched restaurants. She left him to go work
Yeah.
at his brother's restaurant. He stabs her in the back, wants to hire Yoonju's ex.
Yeah.
All of that was just very confusing and unnecessary.
It was very unnecessary.
Then we come back from Japan.
And then the thing about her coming back, at that point, she knew her restaurant was on the line.
Yes.
And she came back into town and didn't even help them when they were doing the whole contest thing.
Yeah, that
which
was
I found
towards
weird.
the very end. But when
Yeah.
they first come back from Japan, everybody's bickering. He's super distracted because everything he's been doing behind the scenes
Yeah.
is about to come to light. He finds out that the Chef Jang and his sidekick essentially stole her recipes
Yes.
while they were in Japan. He's worried about all of that. He's super distracted. So Yoonju's like, you know what, guys, we need a getaway. And she takes him back to the temple that she was raised in.
Yeah. I'm glad we got a little bit of backstory about how she was raised, all that.
That was cute.
But also, Chef Jang, like, yes, you got the 3 stars, but you got it off her recipe, and she was excited about that as if she did something. And I was like, you're a real chef. You should be disgusted with yourself because that wasn't your work. That wasn't your recipe. That wasn't, you know. So I really didn't care for Chef Jang, to be honest. She was just kind of annoying, to be honest.
I didn't care for any of them. And
yeah.
that's why I was like, his brother, his mom, and Chef Jang, I don't care for them. But
Yeah.
that's what I didn't like about this show. Because we wasted so much time in Japan, we really didn't get them to be true villains. Like, I feel like nobody was heinous enough for me. His brother was wishy-washy. Chef Jang just stole the recipe book, got her 3 stars, but then conveniently and very quickly found herself.
Yeah.
And said, this is not right. I
This
wanna
is not me.
I want to
Yeah.
do my own recipes. That was too neat for me. And that was too
Yeah.
quick.
After you got the 3 stars.
After you got it.
Yeah.
Him and his brother, let's talk about that. He shows up while he's about to confess. While Bamu is about to confess everything that he's been doing and why he initially showed up. His brother comes and says, you haven't told her yet? Again, that's the extent.
And even with the brothers' relationship, I would like to know why they have this relationship. Like, they never really showed us anything.
It was oversimplified. Their mom was career driven. She really wasn't the most, hands-on mom.
Okay, I get it, but why?
She was raising them by herself and trying to be like a CEO.
Yeah.
So even that was very simple for me because the whole climax of it, is you're going to cook them a home-cooked meal after they've made your life a living hell. They plotted on your business.
Yeah.
You're going to, it was just too simple.
It was. And the mom knew, and she was like, now that your antics are done. She knew what she was
exactly
doing.
What it was.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was kind of funny, kind of tongue-in-cheek when the boy's like, oh, I guess nobody really does change. Because you can't expect the mom to do a complete 180.
Yeah.
Because she got served a home-cooked meal. And the whole giving up and saying, I give in, just eat together as a family.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you please win
Because
properly?
you heard his Sob's childhood about, how he grew
Yeah.
up and all of that. It's like, oh, maybe this is what they need. Like,
again,
this woman wanted to erase.
competition.
She wanted to erase your fucking restaurant.
Exactly.
Like, are you kidding
She
me?
literally said, I'm going to take her off the map.
Yeah.
Bought the building.
And you said, I think they need a family moment.
Yes.
That's what they
group
need.
hug, basically.
Yeah. Basically.
In food form.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying with the show. It was it started off so strong, but the romance wasn't strong enough.
Honestly, the romance was good.
No,
I
found that.
She always had this thing where she was playing this whole hard to get kind of thing with him, and I feel like even towards and it was like that as well. Yeah, she confessed oh, I like you, whatever, but I felt like it was still very much so.
Yeah, we heard her verbally say, I like you. We see her initiate that kiss in Japan.
Yeah.
But anything outside of those 2 moments,
Yeah.
it was giving, she saw him like an annoying little brother.
Yeah.
I did not see any chemistry there.
Because I feel like they didn't get enough time. They went on one
We don't know
date.
why she's so closed off. Can we can guess. She had a bad experience with the first love and all of that. But we needed time for their little relationship to go. The way it was being set up, I thought instead of wasting those 3 episodes in Japan, I thought we would get more cooking scenes. They're flirting. They're in the kitchen.
More.
They're making recipes.
Yeah.
They're kind of dating. I wanted to see the antics of the neighborhood because they had a really good supporting cast.
They
right?
did.
I love the butcher and his 2 friends that he was drinking with on the rooftop, the butcher and the vegetable guy.
They came through for them.
They always come through for him.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more of that.
Yeah.
Because I did not see that. I see that he was very attracted to her and he fell in love with her to the point where it made him feel guilty. And we see him very quickly, look back on all the dirty things that he's done and not feel good about himself.
Yeah.
We see that.
Yeah, and then we also see that she grew up actually pretty
that was,
happy.
quick.
She grew up in the temple, and then we see
Exactly.
that she grew up very loved, very whatever. So it's you kind of don't understand in a way, because when she first said she was an orphan, it's oh my God, she got tossed, and
Exactly.
she's going from orphanage to orphanage. That's what I thought. You know what I
know.
mean? And then we find out, Oh,
She's had a very stable upbringing.
she did, and
It's
very
just-
loved.
It's just the trauma of being abandoned.
I guess,
That's it. But like, I feel like the monks did a great job
they did.
of raising her, and she seemed very happy and very
Am I ignorant?
well
Because
adjusted.
first of all, why did I think I didn't know women can be monks?
I knew that.
Did you know that?
I think so.
Because I always, when you think of monks, you always just see men,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
I was pleasantly surprised by that. Were
I
you
mean,
not?
Did you
not?
I never gave it thought, but I kind of always just knew.
Have you ever seen? I've never even seen one.
Honestly, outside of like dramas, I don't think I ever gave it much thought. It's just I've seen women monks in like other dramas, and so I was just
I've
like, oh,
never
okay.
even seen-
I guess they can be, you know.
I've never even in other dramas or just I've never seen women monks. But that was interesting.
It was
Like,
very
that's cool.
interesting. Excuse me. But yeah, I forgot. I lost my train of thought now.
Sorry.
Oh, let's say, yeah, no, she was very well adjusted. That's why I really couldn't even understand. I thought it was a very easy cop out, like just to say, oh, just because if he was her boyfriend and she was madly in love with him, she just took the blame for him. Like, what did you think was going to happen, right? And because of that one experience that she had, she's very closed off to Bamu. And it's like, we needed more time with her story. Maybe we need to see her
Because
realize and come out of her shell.
Even with the ex, I would never forgive that guy. I'm sorry.
And she didn't.
They
She said you're rightfully shitty.
Yeah, but they had moments where they're laughing together and doing all of that. I would not do that.
That came before she
because
found out
she
he was
said-
withholding medication, though, remember?
And also, she said that not only did she take the blame for it, but then he kind of like distanced himself from her after that situation. That's kind of why she hated
Yeah,
him.
obviously.
And why he's such a coward. I was like, I would never like be cool with him ever again, or even like, you know.
None of that made sense to me, and I'm just like,
It
we
came
did
out
not
of
need that X
nowhere.
storyline. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we
We
didn't.
did not need it at all. We knew she was a genius chef.
Yeah.
We knew she went to school. Like, he thought she was just like a country chef. No, we knew
Yeah.
all of that. We really did not need that X story. And I think that's where the show just kind of went off the rails. But then they really brought it back and then rushed through everything else.
Yeah.
The relationship with him and his brother. He comes back, kind of tells Yeonju, my brother's not who you think you are. He came here basically to steal from you and shut you down. She gets mad at him and disappears back to the temples,
Yeah.
right? To clear her head. Like, yeah, she's been betrayed. I get that. But then his brother leaves. And the next time they see each other, they have a few words here and there. And then he's just like, oh, let's have a drink.
And then when
Even they're making up and understanding. Like, the brother's very much so like, I know the way we were raised is messed up, but what do you expect? Like, she was trying to raise us and create, you know, a
and
company.
that's fine. And even when
Very
they had
forgiving.
when they had that drink, it didn't go in depth for me. Like, they could have talked more on a deeper level of like, okay, let's talk about how we as brothers, why are we like this?
Exactly.
And what role that she
What are we going to do
Yeah.
moving forward? Like, what are we going to do differently?
Yeah.
I don't like the way we are now. I don't like the way we're
There
in
was none of that. And I was just
competition
like,
with one another.
yeah. Why do we hate each other, bro? Like, that's simple. Like, why do we, like, what,
And
we
then
could be
the
working
last-
together.
Yeah.
Like,
And then the last 10, 15 minutes, you just see how, like, everybody's, you know, redeeming themselves. Like, he gives the restaurant back to that guy who was, who burnt down the restaurant.
we find out that he's the one
find
who
out that
actually,
he's the one
that
because he
burned
was
down.
just pissed off, right?
Yeah.
He gives him his restaurant back, and the brother's like, "Yeah, we're just gonna turn it into a franchise." Okay, so they're trying to do the right thing, but at the same, it was just rushed.
It was.
It was like we
Yeah.
knew that he wasn't inherently a bad person. We knew that.
Yeah.
So him giving back the restaurant like that didn't seem like a stretch to me.
Yeah. Like, yeah. It was doing too much, and they could
And
have
not
did more.
enough.
And certain places they need to do more.
Yes.
Like I said, I love the core group. I wanted more of them. So that whole time they were in Japan, I was like, oh my God, I missed the others.
Exactly.
I missed their relationship. It was just so cute. And that really is what saved the show for me, is
Mm-hmm.
them four together. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I mean, yeah. So aesthetically, one of my faves is it was just I loved the cinematography. Like I loved the little Ha-neul village that they were
Yeah.
in. I loved the snowy winter, like in Japan, like those scenes, like that
Yeah.
was beautiful.
And I love Kang Ha-neul. He killed his role. He was so goofy and
That
funny
man.
and just like,
So charismatic.
He's so
And I
charismatic.
love the fact that like he acts with his whole body because
Yeah.
you know the little the wink and the little, you know, everything that
Yeah.
he just does it so forcefully. Like there was a lot of physical comedy in this too because
Yeah.
when Kang Ha-neul's character, Bamu, is fighting with her ex, why does she roll up and just chest kick him and he falls into the bench?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're mean. Kick your ex.
Literally. And
Don't kick
the other scene.
Bamu.
The other scene that killed me is like when they got caught kissing
Yes.
by the other two.
And they're mocking them. And
then
he covers her ears. Like,
no, and then Yoonju just headbutts him.
Yes.
Because they got caught. And I
she's
cried.
very awkward.
Yeah. But
And then the last scene when they finally do make up and she
Yeah.
was like, fine, you've grown on me. And he's happy and they're about to kiss. The other two are there.
Yeah.
Again, creeping on them. And he covers her ears because they're mocking. He doesn't want her to hear them mocking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so everything was like really fun about this show. It's just, we didn't get the story that we wanted. They spent time on things her past that we didn't need, but like it was beautifully shot. I loved, like, there's this one scene, I think they're about to kiss or they did kiss, and then there's like the fireworks and it's just really pretty. Like it was gorgeous, and
they nailed the comedy.
They did. It's just, I wish I saw more romance of like their feelings actually really developing for each other.
Yeah,
like definitely. She was shocked that he betrayed her. She goes to the temple, she comes back, boom, we've made up. Yeah, they just wrapped it up too quickly. They did. Because I feel like they're just running out of time, and they're like, no.
And again, like you said, I wish the boys, there was even a scene for the boys talking to their mom on a real serious tip. Like, like.
No, the part that killed me was the very end, though, when, as they're having the meal that day, when they had the family meal, and they're in the car, and she was like, oh, next time you go to your grandma, let me know. I'm like, oh, that is so cute. Like, because we find out that she didn't even go to the funeral, and it was just the boys. Oh my God, yeah. And I'm like, this woman is really about her business.
No, she's evil.
She's cold.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, finally, she's coming around, and it's only just for the documentary for it to be like filmed.
Yeah. She's like, oh God, it's so hard crying on camera. I was like, oh my God, you're fucking insane.
The son's like, I guess people don't change properly. Like, sure, whatever. Like, they don't change instantaneously. But you see, I don't think that woman learned her lesson.
And I don't think she ever will.
I think tomorrow she could wake up and be like, the boys are getting on a little too well for my liking.
And try to,
nobody's ruthless enough to take over after me. Like, I don't think there was real change with her.
There wasn't.
But that scene got me. That was so unexpected. And I'm like, yep, she's the same.
Yeah, for me, she's not changing. The growth MVP would be Byung-woo. Yes. From where he started and how he ended, like, he literally grew a conscience. Like,
he really did.
And I think for the first time, he actually seen what it is to be a human being. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was so caught up in that world for so long that he kind of lost humanity.
He did.
Know what I mean? And I don't blame him. Look at his mom.
Money. He was just, super driven. For me, the SOS is the tie because this duo kind of, like, really helped out. They kind of carried the show for me.
They did.
Chun-sung and Young-suk.
Yeah.
My two faves.
Yeah, they killed it.
They really did.
I loved it.
Till the very end, too, when Park Ji-hoon shows up as the lovely cameo, the cute little reunion. That was fun.
That was.
Chun-sung was just, he did it for me. And Young-suk. Like, they were hilarious. Yeah. And they carried it well. Another fave was the OST was really nice.
I never even really noticed
towards the end.
Like, I never even noticed the music like
towards the end, it had a very, like, chill, like, pop alternative vibe.
I can't even think of what the main song was, actually.
There was a few different kind of songs, but it was, like, I just remember,
Did
like...
it have music? Like, at this point, like, I'm really trying to think. Like...
It did. It did.
Yeah, it did not stand out at all.
I heard, like, a couple of songs, and I'm like, oh, this is so nice. I'm like, it's
it didn't stand out for me. Clearly.
It was really cute. Okay. Yeah. Any other stands out for you?
No, like I said, I love the humor, and it was done in a way that it wasn't cheesy, cringy, or any of that. So I'll give it to them for that. I love that.
Yeah. We got all the closures. I just felt like they were oversimplified.
Yeah.
The romance for me wasn't, like, worth the wait because it didn't deliver fully.
Yeah. The acting was good.
The acting was great.
So good.
The chemistry between all of the characters was really good.
It was.
Right? Like, everybody played their part beautifully.
Yeah.
Like, it delivered. So that part definitely hit home for me. I think it's actually rewatchable because of the group dynamic. And because of Myung-suk and Chun-sung, I think it is kind of rewatchable. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, but I'll just have to skip those 3 episodes with the exes.
If you didn't know.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, I would. Based off of, like, the first half.
Yeah.
Cute.
It wouldn't be rewatchable for me, but Yeah.
I think for some, I think I might be a little biased because of Kang Ha-neul. I enjoyed him thoroughly in this.
I enjoyed him too. Like
Yeah.
the comedy was comedying. It was good. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10.
Same. I would have,
Yeah.
Is this the first time we're agreeing?
I know. Yeah.
Look at us.
Yeah. 7 out of 10.
It's cute for what it was, but
It was. Yeah. It could have been better. Like I loved the characters. I loved all that, but yeah, a lot of it fell short for me.
True.
And dragged. But
And
yeah.
dragged. But
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I love Gomensi and Kang Ha-neul, so that's the reason why I definitely have to give it a 7.
Okay.
So let's see. What is on schedule for next week?
Oh, it's Squid Games.
I'm so excited. It's
I
gonna
am
drop
too.
on the 27th?
Thursday or is it Friday?
I think it's Friday.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, join us next week. We will be doing a full series review because we will binge it.
Yes.
We
of
will
course.
definitely binge it.
Easy
And-
binge.
And moving forward, we are going to be releasing new episodes on Wednesdays because hopefully starting next week, we're going to do a video podcast.
Yay!
So join us on what? If you're on Apple, if you're our listeners on Apple, we'll be on YouTube.
Yes.
And if you listen to us on Spotify, you already know what's up. We'll be right here.
Yay.
So thank you so much for joining us. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.